What's going on, everybody? Waysauce here, back at it again.
Once again.
I'm Sam, this is Brendan. JK, I'm Brendan, this is Sam. We're back once again.
So funny.
I know.
We're back with another
back.
episode, with another movie review. This episode, we got
The Killing Joke.
Batman, The Killing Joke. What? What the hell is that?
That's
I've never
a
heard
horror.
of it. That's fucking animated. Get these Waysauce guys
Outta
too
here.
bad. They're canceled. They're done. Well, yeah, it is horror. It's scary.
It's freaking scary.
It's dark.
It's dark as hell. It's scary.
This is what's gonna happen. If you're watching this in your very lit room, you got candles, you got lights, even maybe the sun is out.
I wanna pull it
shut
up
them all
right now.
off.
I wanna pull
shut
up
them
a
all off
picture of
because
this.
this is a dark film, a dark flick, a dark movie, dark cinema, film noir. Maybe I don't know, but it's dark. Show them. You see that?
That shit's scary.
We'll bring it up somewhere.
Shit. Yeah, we'll pop it up. We'll pop it up.
That is
Hey.
freaky. So
That's-
if you are here because you have seen it, you know what you're doing.
Good for you.
I like it.
Good
Or if
for
you
you.
just saw the thumbnail, you're like, oh, that's interesting. Or you're like, oh, all right, Waysauce guys, what do they got? Whatever it is, however you got here, welcome, thank you, but just keep an open mind.
Yeah,
This is scary.
it is scary.
It's dark.
Very
so let's
creepy.
dive into it.
Oh, there's one of the burps.
There's one of them.
World famous burps right here.
Sponsored by LaCroix. Just kidding, not sponsored, but brought to you by. So this movie came out in 2016.
2016.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I'd never really heard of it, but one day, your boy was bored. He was looking for something to watch, and all of a sudden I stumbled upon it. I guess on Netflix or wherever the fuck we watched it. Maybe HBO Max, I think. And I was like, shit, like I'll fucking watch it.
Now, like, we'll get into it in a bit, but like, I'm glad that you stumbled upon it, and shout out our friend Josh, who's also heard it too. And the first time you tried to show me was when St. Patrick's weekend, and we were just going through it, have a sleep. And he's like, "You gotta watch this movie; it's great." And we're watching it. And I'm like, "I know this is good, but I just can't stay awake." And I was like, "Let's just watch it again." So we ended up watching it a couple weeks later in his room, dark room.
That is true. In my room.
At his room,
my
on his
room.
little projector, and it was great. Yeah. So, came out in 2016. It was directed by Sam Liu, Liu. Sorry if that's not pronounced right. Who's worked on multiple animated movie/TV shows, including Beware the Batman series in 2013. Kevin Conroy, who you might know, voiced Batman. He's known for voicing Batman in the video games.
Ah, did not know that.
He unfortunately passed away in 2022.
Did he?
Yeah, so that's sad. So R.I.P. If you knew him, if you liked him, he did a great job, and that's a pretty good gig. Being like, I'm the Batman guy. I
Yeah.
voiced him. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
No, it is very cool.
Tara Strong voices Batgirl. You might know her voice. You might recognize her from Bubbles and Powerpuff Girls. That's pretty cool. So yeah, nice little.
Bubbles is like high pitched though, right? So
yeah, she knows what she was a little high pitched, but nothing. I don't know. She had that like.
She had that sexiness.
Sexy, like stern, like
Yes.
right in your face.
Stern
Like,
and
don't fuck with me.
seductive. Yeah, crazy.
All the S words.
All the yes.
Lastly, the Joker was voiced by Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill.
Hey.
So we think he did a phenomenal job, and I was like pretty surprised. I feel like if you really listen to it, you'll have to try to pick it up. You'd be like, is that Mark Hamill? Kind of like when we watch Longlegs. Where
Nicolas
you're like,
Cage.
I think that's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
I only
yeah.
know because of the credits. That's one. Okay, good. So yeah, it's one of those where they did such a good job that you like don't really know it's them until you see the credits, unless you just know Mark Hamill so well.
Yeah.
Synopsis: as Batman hunts for the escaped Joker, the clown prince of crime attacks. Wait, the clown. Oh, excuse me. There's a comma there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Rewind.
He doesn't always use commas, so it makes sense.
Yeah, sometimes.
Or periods.
Or punctuation marks. As Batman hunts for the escaped Joker, comma, the clown prince of crime attacks the Gordon family to prove a diabolical point, mirroring his own fall into madness, is the IMDb synopsis. Okay. So, animated could be hit or miss, I think, and some people might just skip it and think it's childish.
That's
Boy in 8.
That's what I originally thought. That's why when I first found it and turned it on, I was like, is this gonna be like a Spider-Man, like super happy, like oh yeah, like I don't know, like I've seen like some of those cartoon ones, and it's too like geared towards kids. So I was like, and then I looked at it and I was like, it's only an hour and 10 or however long, and I was like, well, if it is, whatever.
And midway through, you're like,
And
this
I'm
ain't
like,
for kids.
this ain't for kids.
This ain't for kids.
Boy,
It's pretty hot too.
they doing hot shit. They're murdering, bloody, everything.
Yeah, everything.
Everything. Crime.
Punching.
Damn,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's
I mean, is it weird to be attracted to an animated character?
I don't know. Is it?
I mean, she's like in.
You could picture the kind of woman she would be in real life.
She's a powerful, seductive, sexy woman. Well, she's a librarian.
Yeah.
Hello, there's
Yeah,
that.
exactly, yeah.
And she kicks ass at night.
Yeah.
And she's in super tight tights.
Yeah, and she also wears high heels when she's fighting too, which is crazy.
Bro, she's like trying to look for books. I'm like, damn, I read too.
She's like trying to look good while she's fighting. She put on high heels.
And there's so much sexual tension
boots.
between her and
Mr.
Batman.
Batman, yeah.
Forget it.
And then all the bad guys kind of want her too. They're like,
yeah.
oh, sweetie, like the first guy. I forget the first guy.
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
his
I
name.
know him. Yeah, but they try to not take her
mob boss.
seriously. Well, she kind of resembles. Well, she's Batgirl here, but she's Catwoman by Anne Hathaway in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
She's in like a skin tight outfit and on a motorcycle and looking like Megan Fox in the Transformers movies. Like,
Is Catwoman the commissioner's daughter or no? I don't think so.
in Dark Knight Rises, I don't know. Also, what's her
many
name in the Robert Pattinson Batmans too?
Yeah.
Like, she's hot.
Yeah, she was very seductive. I remember her.
Number 2. Yeah. So there's some adult sexiness to this. So it ain't a kids movie. That one scene where you're like, her and Batman are getting mad at each other, and they just start ripping each other's clothes off. And we're like,
yep.
hey.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah,
And it comes out of nowhere, but like you kind of like sense it too, because like they both want it. Because like just like describe what, like describe describe in detail the blood, sweat, and tears, whipping it off on top of the roof. Describe like what you were seeing from Batman and like in the beginning, like what kind of sense we get, because like he's just been through everything.
yeah. I mean, he's just very he's very muted, I guess, right? Like he's just not gonna. But he's just seen everything possible. So like he doesn't want anyone around him to get hurt, which is why he keeps arguing with Batgirl, because he's just like, can you fucking just stay away? Like I actually kind of like you, but I can't even fathom love when I'm fighting all this crime and crazy shit. So he's just so muted.
It's like a parent being like, I know what's best because I'm in my 60s and I've seen so much, but she's kind of like a angsty teen who it's like, well, why can't you let me do this? And you got to show emotion. He's like,
Yeah,
I can't show emotion because I've seen.
Can't. I'm dead inside. I've
Yeah,
seen
I'm literally
everything.
dead inside. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why like Joker is always trying to like mess with him, because he's like, I just want you to break, because I know that inside that you're just as broken as me, and that's why you're so fucking mute. I feel like he was a little bit more in line with the more recent Batman with Robert Pattinson, because he was like super dark and just like.
dark.
I mean, you don't see his face in this one, or did you? I don't really remember. I feel like you just see him as in the Batman outfit the most of the time.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because he's the Robert Pattinson one. Well, that movie is just dark in general. Like, I don't think there's any lights in that movie.
Yeah.
No, literally, it's just like is it Zack Snyder?
It's all like light from afar and
Right.
Yeah.
It's just a super dark and like depressing town. And one of the main song is Underneath the Bridge. Nirvana. It's the depressing
Yeah, I was gonna
band.
say, isn't that Nirvana? That's cool.
And you're just so drawn to that like darkness. It's so different than which is amazing that like that movie's so dark and everything. Then you have this animated movie just as dark, but you look at it and you're like, oh, this looks like a cartoon for kids. Like if I was watching that movie and like my sisters or parents walked in, they'd be like, why are you watching like a kid show? I'd be like, ain't kid show.
Yeah.
Stick around for 5 minutes.
And then, oh my God, when the commissioner is going through that ride and the crazy stuff. We'll get more into that probably later, but
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it's interesting. Like that's why I think I've always have said, and perhaps maybe in other episodes or just in life in general, that like I like Batman more because it seems more realistic. Because if you're a superhero and you're going through like crazy shit all the time to fight bad guys, and you're seeing people dying, and yeah, eventually you're gonna have like PTSD or some shit, or
Right,
just
yeah.
muted completely.
Which is it's perfect because it's like
That makes sense.
it encapsulates. See, that movie's good. This movie's good because it represents like how people actually act. Like
Yeah.
somebody that's been through that is gonna act like that. A girl like Batgirl, this is how she's gonna act. She's gonna want him to kind of bring out some light and some sexual ness about him. Where she's like, we're humans, like. Let's date or something like that, and we could talk about this stuff. And then you have the Joker, who's all the way over here, who's just, he's seen some shit, but he's just gonna act silly and crazy. So they're at the both ends of the spectrum, but they're like so compatible.
Yeah.
Which is at the end we do see that like they are kind of
the best, yeah.
become friends or whatever. But so this movie's good, I think, if you like Batman because you have the Dark Knight and you have the Joker, right? And Heath Ledger gives such a great performance. But this movie taps into how the Joker became to be,
Yeah.
and its own like take on it, and I thought it was brilliant. So I love the backstory of it, and I feel like we've never gotten that.
Yeah.
And me or you like sort of darker things, not in the sense of like so much something horrific happening, but like how this can happen to a man. And it's pretty crazy that he was normal, now he's insane. It's kind of a scary thought.
Yeah.
But people can definitely like snap.
Well, that's what he says the whole movie. He's like, it just takes one bad
day. That's the best quote of the movie.
It's so cool. I
It's-
mean,
dude.
it's all crazy to think. It's scary, but it's so good.
And don't tell me that you haven't had a bad day and been in traffic. Be like, cut me off.
Had an intrusive
Cut
thought.
me off.
Had a crazy ass
See what
intrusive
happens.
thought.
It just takes one bad day. And I remember when he said that, I went,
Yeah.
that's scary.
Yeah, it really is. I remember that stuck with me too. I was just like, holy shit, he's so right.
It's so bad because like if you have like Murphy's law, as they call it, everything that bad that can happen will happen or something like that. Let's say you like your just day is just terrible. You spill coffee on yourself. Somebody cuts you off. Your boss yells at you. You miss.
You're in debt.
You're in debt. You miss the gym because of you forgot your shorts or something like that.
Yeah.
You could want to beat somebody up.
And that's what was happening to him. Like, I think he comes home, too, and he was just like, oh, I'm a failure. And he tells his wife, oh, I'm such a failure. And this and that. And then he's like, all right, you know what? He picks himself up finally. He's like, I'm going to make something of myself. I promise. And then,
He gets into bad trouble with some bad people. But he has good intentions. But I think at that point he's just like, oh, so I try to pick myself up. And, so now I'm getting in trouble by the cops.
Yep.
Well, fuck everybody else.
yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm like, oh, kind of relatable.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing like that happened to me, unfortunately. But like, I'm like, well, I could probably see myself doing that. And that part when he's like crying to his wife, and she's like, it's okay, like I support you.
Yeah.
And you just feel like, like I love that you're doing that, but like, fuck, that makes me feel like a failure even more because like I just want to like provide. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To you?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Where she's like, I'll stick with you with anything. It's like you shouldn't stick with me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I suck.
Yeah.
But like,
even if you're a loser, like, I still love you.
throw that word around. But yeah, so there's so many quotable lines from this, so that's a good one. And I wrote a few down, and they're all by the Joker because he's so good.
Yeah.
I like the one part when he says, "I went crazy, and I'm smart enough to admit it. Why can't you?"
Yeah. That's
And
so
that
good.
you can relate to the Dark Knight because like you're one of the first people to be like, well, they're kind of, like cat and mouse kind of. Like,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
like.
They need each other. They're cat and mouse. They're exactly the same. They both went through traumatic experiences, and one chose to use his experience for good, and the other for evil.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and Batman, it's also like, and they even talk about it in The Dark Knight. Well, you're wrecking. Well, even in the Avengers too, it's like you guys are the good guys, but you're causing all this damage and stuff like that.
Yeah. So how much better are you than really me? And you're just as crazy as me because you're just you have all these abilities and stuff, but yet you're crazy enough to go and try to find and try to capture me or whatever.
Right.
How different are we?
Yeah. I mean, and then there's a point where like Batman like I don't, as much as fun of it is for the Joker, the Batman's like getting some enjoyment out of this too, because it's like, I'm just gonna be a vigilante about, a purse was snatched or something. Like this is the top, this is the top guy. Like you're gonna go after him, and there are parts when I think maybe he could have actually captured the Joker, but I feel like there's some parts where he just like lets it slide. So he's like, somewhere in my subconscious, I want to do this again.
Yeah, because I feel like the Joker's always like, just kill me. But the Batman's, Batman's probably so broken, so depressed, so everything that if he stays at home and has nothing to do, he's just
He doesn't have a job because he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's why it's so perfect, because it's like
he's got nothing to do. Everything's handed to him. He's good to go, and then that's immediately how you get even more depressed.
Yeah, that's very true. This one's a longer one. So he says, memory is so treacherous. One moment you're lost in a carnival of delight, childhood aromas, the flashing neon of puberty, all that sentimental candy floss. Amazing writing.
Yeah.
The next, it takes you somewhere you don't want to be, somewhere dark and cold, filled with damp, ambiguous shaped things you'd rather forget. Memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes, like children, no? Which I think is so great, because he's had such a tough past, which has led him to this, that he wants to have memories, but he doesn't. So there are memories that are good, but the ones that are really bad are even worse.
Yeah. I feel like with the Joker too, I feel like he keeps himself busy again by like just causing mayhem. I don't even think he wants to think of the bad stuff. Like that's why, a therapist would say say to him like, all right, well you got to talk about all your bad stuff, get it out. He's like, nope, we're just gonna keep causing mayhem. I want everyone else to feel it.
Yeah. Well, he's just, he's kind of like a baby.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I went through something terrible, so everybody else has to, which is, not fair and just like an immature way of dealing with it. But one that people can relate to after something happens, but he's doing this years later. But that's like the scene in The Dark Knight when he just burns the money. He's like, I don't. This shows that I'm not doing this for money. Like I'm actually insane, but I have fun with this. So
all you care about is the money. I think that's what he says.
Probably.
He says it like that.
But yeah, very very quotable movie. This was, and yeah, it was good because it was like just over an hour, so it was nothing too long. But the main like really good part is when they're at the amusement park or whatever it is, the carnival, and you just start to, he's starting to toy with Commissioner Gordon, and then eventually Batman when he shows up.
Yeah.
So
that's just like the best part, because it's just trying to bring it down to his level, and will good triumph over evil. But it's so funny because I feel like he does get them to be so close to maybe breaking a little bit. And I think his sense of breaking is he'd be like, yeah, kill me. I dare you. I dare you to kill me. You'll stoop down to my level, and on top of that, you'll have nothing else to do. And then you'll be alone with your thoughts, and then you'll be fucking as insane as me, and then you'll be the evil guy.
Well, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, it's like he wants just absolute mayhem.
Yeah.
Like at the end when they, the first one, at the end when they they just start like causing, wreaking havoc in the middle of the street. Like that's what he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the story of the Joker is very intriguing, and I think it just represents like the really like darker parts of ourselves that we like hope to never come out. Yeah, I like how the flashback scenes are in black and white. It's just like that classic like animated thing, which I think they do in anime too, which I've only seen like a couple of it, but it's just you're easy to pick up like, oh, this is in the past.
But yeah, this hasn't happened. His wife was pregnant too, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, it's just, well, it's good that when they were tapping into the story, it wasn't just like so he was a comedian, right?
Yeah.
And then he
was bombing.
funny?
He was bombing, yeah. He came home that night and he was like, my jokes are failing. Like, we're about to have a baby. I'm getting no money. Like, we live in this shitty apartment and there's crime everywhere. Like, I got to get us out of here. Picks himself up next day. Wife dies in car accident with a pregnant baby.
Oh, that's right.
He now has to go along with the loan sharks and be
he gets that when oh right, they
Because
come in.
he tries to go with the loan sharks because he's like, listen, I apparently I suck as a comedian, and I need money for my family. And they're like, oh, you do this job, one job for us, you'll be $50,000 richer or something. And he's like, oh, okay, perfect. And then that's when the cops walk in and go, hey, your wife's dead,
With the baby.
with the baby, freak accident, and yeah. And then the loan sharks are just like, you know, you're still going through with our plan though. Like you're not getting out of this just because you had a bad day doesn't mean you're getting out of our thing.
Yeah.
Then tries to get shot at by the cops by breaking into this factory for I'm not really too sure why they were trying to get in there, maybe to steal money or something. And then he's he dresses up as that like Red Hood. He dresses up as Red Hood, and or they make him dress up like that, the alleged Red Hood. And then what I'm assuming is to get away from the gunshots of the police who think he's a bad guy when really he's not. He jumps into what looks like a vat of acid or something. It's like a green liquid.
Yeah.
And then that's when he comes out of the sewer pipe and he looks basically like a clown or like ridiculous. And then that's when they show him zoomed in with that picture.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
and I'm just like, oh my God, that's amazing. So everything possible that you think could have gone
Marissa
wrong in a
Murphy's
day.
Law,
Yeah, this one right here.
yeah.
He
We'll-
just
we'll show
goes
it.
absolutely nuts.
Does he start laughing too?
Yeah, he's crying and then it turns into laughter.
An evil laugh.
And
Yeah.
it's just like
The most perfect one.
because the like the punchline is him.
What's cool is that Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker, and in Star Wars, it's Anakin was the dark side, but he like refused, and then he's just this totally evil character.
yeah.
So like in that scenario, it's you either go two ways. You either break and go nuts and want everybody to feel your pain, or you deal with the grief and then move forward. But like,
I think what's also cool about this too is that there's almost like 3 stories in one, right? You got the Joker's story, and he's like trying to fuck with everybody, but also like you're feeling bad for him. You're also seeing Batman.
Yeah.
You're also seeing Batman come into play, and you're like, damn, this guy's like really broken, and he's like trying to make sure Batgirl isn't getting hurt, and he does kind of like her, and then Batgirl wants his attention, but she's also trying to like, you know, live a normal life at the same time, and like, you know, they even show her jogging and stuff, and
you know, what work with her funny coworker.
yeah.
But it's interesting because like I don't know if she knows like this. Obviously, she doesn't because she doesn't know the severity of it. So it's funny when they go back to the library scenes. Her friend's just like, "Oh, this guy's being this way, this, that."
yeah.
And yeah, he's like her gay like a coworker. And he's
At the
super funny,
library, so
and
funny.
he's like the comedic relief in the movie because it's super dark. But that's like the lightness of it because they don't really know the depth of what is happening or what does happen and what happens to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good point that there's like multiple stories going on because it's cool because you have the Batman's. This is all in the same world because you have the Batman series and you know what happened to Batman. So if you watched it before and you watched The Killing Joke, this movie, you're like, damn, Batman's seen a lot. Like I get it. Like his parents are dead. He's a billionaire. He's bored, but he like is a vigilante but wants to help this girl. Then we get the new side of the Joker story, and then you feel bad for him and you're like, damn. There's a lot going on, and there's like a lot of emotions. And this girl's like, I just want to be loved, like, but I also want to like help out. Like, why won't anybody understand? But she doesn't know the severity of the two.
Yeah. I think it also goes to show, like, in everyday life, too, you really don't know, like, what is going on in anybody's life. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
Like, that's why I think it's cool that it shows all 3 little perspectives here and there. Like, even in the beginning, too, you get that the mob boss's, like, nephew or whatever, and, like, he's trying to become the new mob boss, and like he kills his own uncle, and it's just like, geez, like you really don't know what's going on in people's lives. I mean, obviously that's the extreme versions of it, but you know, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, there could be one car on the highway having the best day ever, and the person next to them could have the worst day ever, which is
literally.
crazy. And only through like struggle and hurt can you like begin to understand that and start to see that in other people. Because like if you don't have that, you just but you start to sympathize with people as well and be like, all right, this person might be having a tough day or something like that.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, quickly go through when they're at like, so the Joker is at this like carnival thing, and he gets to Commissioner Gordon's house and abducts Commissioner Gordon and beats up Batgirl.
He shoots her. Yeah,
that's right.
He has a gun. When she opens the door, he just, and then she gets hit in the spine, unfortunately. And I mean, we don't know it at the time, but and then they, I think they beat the crap out of Commissioner Gordon and abduct him. And then right before they're about to leave, the Joker says something snarky. The lines he comes up with there are so clever.
Brilliant. The writing is incredible.
They're so like funny, but at the same time, you're like, damn, this is
so dark. Yeah, but that's like what you want a villain to be, because like I love villains in movies that are like suave or like smart or you know, quirky or something like that. Like the guy in No Country for Old Men, like he's just and he's just really evil and he's cool and he talks through like before he's about to like kill you or something like that, like the whole coin toss scene.
You can tell he's very smart and methodical in his way of thinking. I actually think I saw a list of what psychologists thought like the smartest evil villains were, and he was like number 2 or number 1.
Oh, for sure.
Some list or something.
That's interesting.
It's funny you say that though, because I just saw the movie Sinners, and
Was that good?
I actually thought it was a little overhyped. I didn't really love it
I could
that
see
much.
that. Yeah.
But it was cool, well made, but but like the vampires in that movie are, like you said, suave. I used that exact word with everybody. I was like, they're kind of like chill, and they try to coax you into like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, it's all good here. Like, everything's great. And then
Yeah. I mean, our guy in Nosferatu is, you know, he's takes his time with everything and very smart.
Yeah.
And that's a good way of talking. So what were you gonna say?
But yeah, so they so right before we cut to the next scene after Batgirl gets shot and Commissioner Gordon, you see that the Joker has a camera with him. He's also dressed up as like a tourist. He has the Hawaiian shirt on and a weird hat on, and he's with like a bunch of thugs. And then he like, well, we find out later. I forget what he says, but I think you might even see a flash of the camera, and you find out later that when he brings Commissioner Gordon to the carnival, and he wants to try to make him break, because he's the symbol for all of Gotham when it comes to order and justice, as the commissioner. And when he tries to make him break, it turns out that you see that the Joker took pictures of Batgirl, his daughter, and put them on like we'll say screens or big screens of her, basically, I guess I'm assuming naked body or half naked body,
shot,
and they don't really show that part in this. I think that would be.
I mean, it is rated R, but well, what's interesting before you go on is like that makes makes it way darker, and you're just like, holy crap! Wait, did he do that at the thing? Because if he just did that, you'd be like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But then if they showed the pictures, you'd be like, oh wow. But this is like, you don't know that's happened, and then it's boom, right in your face.
Yeah.
That's a great way of like, movie making.
Yeah, he's just.
It's in your face.
And he's just trying to prove to Commissioner Gordon, like, what if all this destruction and all this is happening, wouldn't you throw the book at the guy that you would blame? And the commissioner goes, yeah, of course. And he throws the book, and then this giant statue of or cardboard cutout of Batman like pops up, and he's like, and it hits that, and he goes, you see, this is what I'm talking about. Why can't you see he's the fucking same?
Yeah.
And but Commissioner Gordon, he is the strongest mind ever, I suppose, because he does not break, and he's also naked.
Yeah. And aren't they like riding? Isn't he going like on a ride?
Yeah, he's on a ride. He's seeing his daughter completely shot and basically naked, and all these things. And why can't you see Batman's the same as me? And there's all the Carney people that are there, like the Wolfman and the twins, and there's all these weird people around. And
he's a clown.
Yeah.
And his voice is just like projecting through everything. And yeah, Commissioner Gordon is,
he's tough as nails. Guess they did a good job hiring him.
Yeah, he's a good commissioner for sure.
Yeah.
So then it ends with Batman getting there and
trying to beat up the Joker. And then they go into, like, Batman just keeps hearing his voice and he's trying to find him, but he keeps running into his like little carny buddies. And then eventually he finds him in this room. But of course, Joker plays a trick on him and makes him think he's over there when really he was behind the door. Hits Batman over the head.
He's just
let's say.
silly.
Yeah,
Silly
yeah.
trickster, but he's like he's insane and very dark.
And they fight it out, they duke it out, and then they both end up outside. And again, Joker's just laying into Batman. Why can't you break? Why can't you see? Like, blah, blah, blah. And then they fall out the window, and then you see Joker go for his gun, and he shoots, and then, of course, all it is a little prop gun. And it just says bang. And
Again,
he goes,
the silliness.
and he goes, all right, well, beat me up and get your justice and get your round of applause. And Batman, again, like, his mind is just so strong, too. I mean, it's probably depleted of serotonin and whatnot, but...
Wait, so he didn't know that the gun was... Didn't say that, right?
No, yeah, the Joker
so
was about to shoot him.
So he was like, oh, okay. All right,
Okay.
wow.
All
All right,
right.
well, I've already had things not go well for me. So, yeah, just beat me up.
Beat me up,
he, like,
get your round
accepted
of applause.
defeat, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
In a way.
That's exactly... He said something exactly like that, like where it's like,
You're not
all
gonna
right,
break.
get your standing applause. Like,
Yeah.
come on, beat me up, bring me to jail. And Batman just says, I'm not going to do that. And he helps him up, and he goes, listen, just work with me, and I can bring you back to normal. And Joker is just like, it's too late for that, man. I can't. I appreciate... He literally looks at him and goes, I appreciate it.
But that scene is so interesting because they are like both, I guess, are just like he accepts defeat and he's like, man, like work with me. Even it's so amazing because like it could have gone so many other ways. Like he could have beat him up, or he could have been like, I'm bringing you in for like justice. But he's like, this guy's unlike any other criminal ever. Clearly, there's something wrong with him. I'm trying to work on my stuff. Like let's talk it out. It's so interesting because like the whole movie's like pretty much like this, and then you start to get pretty down with the Joker, and then understanding his backstory, and then it kind of goes up a little bit, and then the carnival is just because you're just going down. It's like most of the movies we review that like Hereditary and Midsummer. It's like bad stuff's going down, and then once you hit that down point, it's just depressing for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
This movie's like that, and at the very end, it just tips up a little as they become like friends.
Yeah.
And I thought that part was so interesting because they were, mere minutes ago, he's trying to get him to crack and just showing the most vile pictures and just being a horrific person. And then he's just like, all right. Maybe he's like, well, Batman's pretty big. He can probably beat me up. So
Yeah. I feel like that's why he always has to come up with those like little snarky little gadgets. Like I remember in the actual Dark Knight, like he has like a knife in his boot and he hits a button and he just like, kicks him, and it's just like so little annoying little things.
it's like Home Alone.
yeah, exactly,
You're like
100%.
this fucking kid.
Or
I
like
can't stand it.
in Smash Bros, like if people use Wario or Luigi, like they just have these annoying ass fucking, because they're fucking fat and too tall to like fight, so of course they get like these weird tools and
Then
devices.
you can't beat Donkey Kong unless you have, this crap stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think what's also cool too is that like Batman and you usually see in a lot of superhero movies that like I think the superhero or the good guys will they just kind of see the bad guys for the surface level, whereas Batman's willing to look past even Joker's surface level and be like, let me help you, because I know what it feels like to feel all alone. I'm exactly like you. Like I didn't have anybody. Like I went through the worst shit. And Joker's like, I know. You're so right, but I can't. Like I'll go nuts if I'll go even more nuts if I don't have what we have right now.
well, Batman's not really like a superhero
Yeah,
like
he's a vigilante.
Thor and
Yeah,
Iron
that's true,
Man
yeah.
and Hulk, because like he doesn't have any powers. He's just wearing a costume. So is Joker.
Yeah.
That's why they're like similar. They just have costumes on because
They
they're
are
like
just guys.
they're just guys, but they're so separated from society. But they're both trying to like they both have ambitions and like visions of grandeur. One's insane. One's like trying to a vigilante and make good in the world. But they both are bored and want to have fun.
Yeah.
He's bored because his life's over, and Batman's like, I've seen a bunch of stuff, but I'm a billionaire and I'm not going to get a normal job. So that's why they're both very similar.
Yeah, I can't just sit in my hot tub because then my thoughts will start racing. My billionaire hot tub.
with Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman.
And my racing thoughts. That'd just be awful.
Yeah, literally. Then he'd, turn into the Joker.
Yeah.
But what's great is the ending line is the Joker is like, what does he say? You want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
And he tells him a joke. So, see, there were these two guys in a lunatic asylum, and one night, they decide they don't like living in an asylum anymore. They decide they're going to escape. So, like, they get up onto the roof, and they're just across this narrow gap. They see the rooftops of the town stretching away in the moonlight, stretching away to freedom. Now, the first guy, he jumps right across with no problem. But his friend didn't dare make the leap. You see, he's afraid of falling. So then the first guy has an idea. He says, "Hey, I have my flashlight with me. I'll shine it across the gap between the buildings. You can walk along the beam and join me." But the second guy just shakes his head. He says, "What do you think I am, crazy? You turn it off when I was halfway across." And then Batman laughs because the joke illustrates his life, his struggle with the Joker, his identity as a superhero. Both characters exist in a fantasy. So we'll jump through some themes. One of the themes is insanity, which we pretty much talked about. It's his past traumas and him wanting to, wreak havoc among society. Shared trauma and pain. This one's interesting. This goes beyond playing with the idea that Batman and Joker both share a painful past that defines their present selves. Paradoxically, the two characters are not too different, as they had no loss and experience past trauma and pain. The narrative explores the villain's origin stories, which portrays him as a law-abiding citizen and a family man. He couldn't be more of like a nice husband. It was just so scary that this is who he ended up being.
Yeah.
Because you're just like,
That's insane.
that's not good. A tragic experience turns him into the notorious villain in the same way. The death of Bruce's parents bring the Batman persona. Their connection is more than a hero-villain relationship, so they see themselves in one another. The choices each have made after the life-changing tragedy are what separates their motivation and goals, which is true.
Is this where is this from? IMDb or?
Oh, so this is from Grade Saver. It's a community note.
Love you, Great Saver.
Yeah, shout out. You're fantastic. Shit.
Yeah. Right. Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Nothing better.
Nothing better. All right, yeah. So that was worth some themes. I think we did a pretty good job of diving into the movie, and
I will say, I think I saw, we both saw after we watched it, that it's got like a 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 or something.
I'll look it up. Let's give our own score. So you think about your score, and I'll look it up on IMDb. That was like when we did As Above, So Below. I think I got like a 30 on Metascore, which is insane.
That's crazy.
So this got 6.4 out of 10, which is not
better than I
amazing,
thought. I thought I saw
but
something ridiculous.
let's see Rotten Tomatoes.
What is it? Oh yeah, this is the one. Probably,
Okay,
where
all right.
I'm like,
All right, so this is from Rotten Tomatoes.
is it a fan score?
So there's the tomato meter and the popcorn meter. The popcorn is the fan score,
Okay, because I was asking.
and of course that has way more.
the fan score has more.
Yeah, they're both bad.
Yeah, because I was asking somebody like here at my job at Caffeine Academy where we film, and someone who was a big like superhero buff or something liked it. His name's Eddie, but he said that it got a lot of backlash because like the commissioner's daughter is Catwoman and it doesn't make sense, or I don't really know the whole gist of.
Who cares?
Yeah, literally.
Right?
I'm like,
just enjoy it.
there's all different universes.
Don't get
I don't know.
technical.
Who cares? There's
Don't
a
get
different
technical.
universe.
Are you kidding me? The Avengers?
Yeah, there's every single universe possible.
Bullshit. they do too much stuff with that, and now
Yeah.
Star Wars has a billion shows.
Yeah.
And going back to like the silliness and how they Avengers and Marvel is seen as face value, it's like the Thor, the third movie. I was like, this is unwatchable because it's just like a silly laugh fest.
Yeah.
And that's live action. This is cartoon, and that's darker.
Yeah, this is way
So
darker
that just
than
shows you, don't judge a book by its cover.
100%.
because you don't know what you're talking about. And don't just go watch blockbusters. Watch things that like make you think, or not. I don't care. You do you, but like I don't know. This one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you want to like watch a movie and then afterwards you talk about it like we're doing now?
Some people just like go on to the next thing. They go, okay, what are we doing? What are we eating? And I'm like, hold on, we just watched a movie. Even if it is terrible, I want to talk about how terrible it is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like what we just watched, like a work of art, like a piece of art, someone's art, whether
Yeah.
it was terrible or good.
Same with music.
All up for interpretation. It's cool to talk about. So do that more, ladies and gentlemen.
Like Tin and Tina, we were like, man, this is terrible. But we still talked about it.
Yeah,
We were
yeah.
like, what was that?
Yeah.
But is it because of this or this or that? We talked about it for like 2
Yeah.
hours. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It's like, don't you? Yeah, that's why a lot of the 2000s were like cheesy, gory horror movies because it was like, all right, we just got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
And then Ari Aster and Robert Eggers were like, all right, let's bring it back to like actually writing
Bring it up a
and
notch.
cinematography
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Okay.
cool.
Did you see the score or no?
And then I think I might have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guess what the Rotten Tomatoes has it as out of 100?
In the 30s.
Yeah, 35.
Yeah,
That's crap.
Insane.
And then Popcorn Meter, which I think is the people, is a 50%, which is a little better but not great, and that's out of 10,000.
Jeez.
So yeah, I don't really. Rotten Tomatoes is hit or miss. It's definitely not a 35. It's better than that. So Brendan, what do you think it is out of 10? What would you give it? I don't really.
There's nothing that
I don't
hate
see
about it.
many flaws about it.
There's nothing I hate about it, but
I'm like, wow, that's a great movie.
honestly, maybe it could have even been a little longer. I don't know. Maybe that's my only
I think
gripe.
it would have been a little. Yeah. Well, most of it is dialogue in the beginning, and we really don't get. Once we start getting the Joker's side,
Yeah, I see.
we're like, all right, this is pretty good. And then the ending is amazing. And then the only thing I think is like, I think the ending is funny. I still don't really 100% understand it. How it just went to like, all right, we're buddies now. I think I get it, but I also don't. I might have to think about it a little more.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder if Batman just went, okay, run, go, the cops are coming.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because you shot a girl in the spine.
Yeah.
And you showed her dad what it looked like.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. So yeah, for some
I'm going
reason,
8.5.
Oh, that's funny. I said 8.3. I don't know why that number's in my head. It might be higher. It might be higher. I might have to just sit on it though. Like, there's nothing really that I can
There it is.
really find.
You're sitting
there
on
it
it.
is. Sitting
Yeah,
on
he's
it.
sitting on
it
it.
went to an 8.9 just from there.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay, we're not Dave Portnoy. We change it.
Honestly,
So,
yeah, I don't know.
I think it's right. I think it's right in the middle because it's great.
Yeah.
And I want to watch it again. I do.
Yeah, I'd watch it again.
Really do. But I do wish it was longer. But I understand why it was. Maybe animated films can't really go too long.
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah.
And could we do without the beginning whole section? Do you think, like where she's like just fighting the mob people?
That's honestly that's probably why I was like kind of falling asleep.
Yeah.
I was hungover. We had a long weekend. I was tired. St. Patrick's weekend. I'm 42% Irish. So, but I was like, not really much is happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of action, and I'm not really an action guy, especially with like animated stuff. But I know you and Josh were like, boy, does this get good. And it's good. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to have to watch it like another time.
I don't watch any of that animation stuff unless it's. I haven't even watched Family Guy really, or Rick and Morty. I like a lot, but even that.
But that's more intelligent and intellectual and darker.
Yeah, and it's like funny, very entertaining. But yeah, this I just took a shot in the dark and said, fuck it. I do like Batman. I don't
glad you did.
generally like superhero stuff, but hey, fuck
You
it.
got through it. Yeah, so I would say, I mean, for me, the last ending scene, I get it. I like it, but I still also kind of don't get it. And the beginning scene, it's more dialogue driven. That's why I'm like, it goes from here to like here.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but it's like, it's tough for people to like grasp and stay with. Because you're like, whoa, this is like taking me on a journey. But there are pros and cons to it.
I do think maybe perhaps it's gotten a low score because of the dialogue that the Joker uses. Because sometimes, like, even when he's talking so much, and he's just a genius that you kind of almost have to want to or need to rewind it,
Slow him
like
down.
and be like, wait, everything he's saying is like literally true, but sometimes it's a little hard to follow because he's artistic and uses, even
words.
like big words, interesting ways to word things, clever ways to word things. Like.
It's like our friend Brian Richardson, if he was an evil character.
Yeah,
This is what he would sound like. Shout out Brian.
Because he ties his wording into like carnivals.
It's
and,
like
funny
rhyming.
shit. Yeah.
It's like silly rhyming dark words. But what did you? Is there another villain that you can like compare him to? Because let me read this again. Memory is so treacherous. One moment you're lost in a carnival of delight, childhood aromas, the flashing neon of puberty, and all that sentimental candy floss. The next it takes you somewhere you don't want to be, somewhere dark and cold, filled with damp, ambiguous shaped things you'd rather forget. Memories can be vile, repulsive little brutes like children. There are so many SAT words there.
Yeah,
ambiguous shaped things, which is so interesting because people say like your memories can like get foggy over the time, and you're like you think that happened, but really it was like, oh, remember that one time we were playing baseball with so and so, and you're like, wait, I don't think they were there.
Yeah.
Oh, weren't they wearing blue? No, they were wearing red. So like little things can get. So that's probably what he means by ambiguous shape. Also, your mind like sometimes tries to forget things.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know who I can compare him to, but he's definitely one of the best like villains. I mean, obviously the Joker, but this Joker in particular, it's so intriguing when you hear somebody talk that that well. Maybe the guy in James Bond, the villain in Skyfall, also Javier Bardem, who was the guy in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he was smart. Oh, Hans Landa in Glorious Bastards.
I was gonna say him. That's so funny.
Okay,
I was literally gonna say him.
Because if you compare him, now we're going off, but for movie buffs out there, you have Hans Landa and you have Amon Goth, I don't know if his name, from Schindler's List, right? That guy's unbelievably evil, just goes out, shoots people, like he's insane. Then you have Hans Landa, who's also evil, but like takes his time. How many people do you have in your basement? I'm gonna pull out my pipe. It's a game of who's bigger.
Yeah.
But his words are like brilliant too. So I would probably compare him to Hans Landa. Both insane.
Yeah.
But maybe have different.
Yeah.
paths.
No. Yeah. 100%. I wish I could find like some of the, even like
Take your time.
the funny, but like really dark ones that the Joker says.
Yeah, go.
Like he says something like.
Well, see what he says when he shoots the.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. He says something like, "Oh, I would say she would get like a standing ovation, but she's not going to be like something like that."
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I'm sure.
Holy shit!
So dark.
Well, he does say here. Well, that's what a dose of reality will do to you. It's why I never touch that stuff. I find it watered down the hallucinations.
That's good.
He knows he's crazy. But he's like being funny about it.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
He also tells the commissioner. The commissioner says, "Please tell me what I'm doing here, somebody." And the Joker goes, "Doing? You're doing what any sane man in your appalling circumstances would do. You're going mad."
That's so good. That was a big surprise.
Barbara!
Oh God, look at her legs.
I wouldn't worry yet if I were you. It's just a psychological manifestation, common among librarians. She thinks she's a coffee table edition, though I can't say much for this volume's condition.
It's fucking ridiculous.
A hole in the jacket, and the spine appears to be damaged. You scum! I'll... Will you? Refreshing to hear. Not by the book. Speaking of which, this one won't be walking off the shelf anytime soon.
That's what it is.
The idea of her walking anywhere seems remote. But then, that's always a problem with softbacks.
Oh,
God, literary
softbacks.
Not
hard.
Hardcover.
Finish the commission, take him where he needs to be. And please, do be careful. After all, he is topping the bill. It really is a shame you'll miss your father's debut, Miss Gordon. Sadly, our venue wasn't built with the disabled in mind.
Why are you doing this?
To prove a point, here's to crime.
I don't like that.
This book won't be walking off the shelf anytime. And
So that is a pretty dark scene. What also is like very disturbing too is like she's paralyzed on the ground. She just got shot, right? But she also hears her dad getting his ass kicked.
yeah.
And she's like, "Wait, this is the guy who, like is supposed to protect me because Batman. I want him to protect me, but he's nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
When she needs him the most. But that's just how like clever the Joker is, and it's so creepy because he's in like a Tommy Bahama dad
Yeah,
shirt,
yeah.
and
That's
he's
what's
like on
weird about him.
vacation. And he just comes and he's just like spewing these words. That's just
I didn't even catch any of those because, like I said, I think that sometimes what he's saying is so smart and witty that like you almost kind of have to pause it or slow him down a little
yeah,
bit.
because that's what you're like fourth time seeing that scene probably.
Yeah, and I always knew about the coffee table and like some of the other things, but he says, but I guess that's what's the problem with softbacks. Oh my god, that's insane.
And her legs just like this.
Oh.
Our venue wasn't made for the disabled. And then he just touches her button, and they're like, "Wow, this dark."
Crazy.
Yep. All right,
All right, gang.
we're gonna end it on that. So yeah, rewatch it if you want to catch some more of the dialogue in the movie, especially by the Joker.
Yeah.
But yeah, 8.5, 8.9. He jumped up.
I'll jump
We
up.
changed
I'll
scores
jump up.
here
I'll jump
because we
up.
think about it.
I'll
You
jump
know, definitely not a 35 or a 50% out of 100. That's crazy. We go out of 10 here.
With lines like that, I don't know how you could ever think that. That's
Yeah,
crazy. to
it's
me.
incredible. So yeah, I love this movie. I definitely want to watch it again. It's super dark, so if you're in the mood for that, and that's usually the movies that we do here. So, what do you scan or something? Way sauce. Like, comment, subscribe, share these videos. Let us know what you think we should watch next. And yeah,
Yeah, stay classy, San Diego.
honestly, I think.
I think that's what
I don't
say.
know. Let us know what it is. Sorry, it's late at night and we forget. Yeah, all right. Batman killing joke.
Peace.